It's the final regular season game between Western Kentucky and FIU. We revisit the stories this season. Western Kentucky lost Charles Bassey for the season in December, but they were far from out. Had a chance to win the Conference USA regular season championship until losing in overtime a week ago against North Texas. That's the last time this team hit the floor. FIU all about pace. They get up and down the floor with the best of them, and they've already guaranteed themselves their best finish since they joined Conference USA, climbing that hill into Group 1 thanks to an 11-2 record this season at home. This is CBS Sports Network on Facebook Watch. Western Kentucky taking on FIU 5 days before the conference tournament begins in Frisco, Texas. Western Kentucky either going to be a 2 or a 3 seed. If they win or Louisiana Tech loses, Western Kentucky will be the 2. If not, Western Kentucky will be the 3 seed. FIU already knows they're the 5 seed. They do not get a bye. They will play on Wednesday, and they know who they'll play. Much more on that coming up. With Mike O'Donnell, I'm Chris Hassel. Mike, first thing I said to you when I saw you today was, boy, I'm excited about this game, but there's not a lot to play for these two teams. And you said, stop right there. There's still plenty to play for. Explain yourself.
Don't take a trip down negative town, Chris Hassel. For Western Kentucky, they're still trying to figure out how to play with a depleted lineup. Can they be efficient and not stay in foul trouble? For FIU, they're still learning how to go from their press, havoc play to sound defense in the half court. Still learning opportunities for both teams leading into conference play.
This game on Facebook, if you're new to us here on Facebook, the number one thing to know is there are no commercials. So we're going to be with you this entire night. Join that conversation in the comments. Use that hashtag, WKUVSFIU. If you don't want any of that, if you just want to watch the game, no comments, no reactions, just swipe right on your mobile device. Western Kentucky has had an incredible roller coaster season. These last 3 games in particular, lost on a buzzer beater at home to Charlotte. Then down 15 with about 3 minutes to go against Louisiana Tech. A furious comeback to force overtime and stun Louisiana Tech to set up a championship game showdown at North Texas. But Tavion Hollingsworth missed 2 late free throws that could have given Western Kentucky the win. It goes to overtime, and North Texas claims the championship. Western Kentucky still going to finish 2nd or 3rd. The 3rd member of our crew, Ashley Holder, caught up with head coach Rick Stansbury of Western Kentucky moments ago.
Coach, you're coming off an emotional loss last week to North Texas. How has the team responded emotionally?
Well, again, that's the one thing about college athletics. You got to stay off them mountains and peaks and stay off those valleys. It was a heart-wrencher, as you well know. But as athletes, that's a good thing about playing athletics. You got to get yourself back up and ready to play. And, today, everybody talks, well, what's it mean? Well, it means a lot still. If they're keeping score, you find ways to compete. And that's what we're going to find a way to see if we can do today.
And with that, only playing 6 players, any thoughts to load management today?
Well, think about this now. If we're only playing 6, who am I going to load manage with? I like your idea. I like maybe to have done that. But we don't have that option. If it was optional for us, maybe something you look at. But again, we're going to try to compete, and we're going to try to win against a really, really good, Florida national team.
All right, thanks, Coach, and good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ashley. On that FIU side, they are led by the big guy, Osase Osaga, leads the nation with 4 blocks a game.
Great shot blockers have great timing and anticipation, but it's not just around the rim. Help side as well. You have to have great vision and see where the pass and offensive player is going to be. Again, great timing around the rim for the big fella, and then he can guard a backcourt as player as well without fouling, and he can block shots with either hand. That's what makes him such a dominating force on the inside.
114 blocks when you add them all up, Mike.
Pretty spectacular. As you can see, he's not just one-hand dominant. He's blocking shots left-handed, right-handed, either as a primary defender or as the help defender. He is everywhere around the rim.
So how many blocks is he going to have today? His average is about 3.9, just about 4. Will he have more than 3 blocks, which would be 4 plus? 58% of you say that he will. The last time these two teams met, he did have 15 points, 10 rebounds, but only 1 block. For Coach Ballard in his 2nd season, Jeremy Ballard saying hello to his precious mascot, Rory, 38-25, trying to win 20 games in back-to-back seasons to start his tenure. Take a look at the lineups. Devon Miller, their leading scorer, but really struggling the last 3 games, shooting it horribly from the field, averaging just 6 points a game. And Tavion Hollingsworth for Western Kentucky, the reigning National Player of the Week, 32.5 points over 2 games last week. Taking a look at Mike O'Donnell's keys to the game in just a moment as we take a look at Rick Stansbury. You don't want him to settle for early shots. Why is that?
No, well, FIU wants to press and play havoc, and the press isn't designed to get steals. It's designed to make you take early contested shots. Western Kentucky must stay under control, work down the shot clock. For FIU, trust in your system. That's what enabled you to beat Western Kentucky earlier in the season. The more faster you are, the more up-tempo, that can really frustrate a depleted Western Kentucky team.
Glad you're with us here on Facebook Watch FIU in this incredible court with the ocean on one side, palm trees on the other, hosting the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. They did meet earlier this season, February the 1st, and FIU won 81-76. Western trailed by 13 points with about 8.5 to go. Got within 2, but couldn't climb all the way back. You saw the tip was likely going to go to FIU, and it does. The Panthers start with the basketball. They are one of the fastest playing teams in Conference USA. They're up there with Marshall and UTSA. Most everybody else likes to slow it down, like this Western Kentucky team. Bad miss from Trajan Jacob to start this game way off from deep.
But to your point, Chris, that's why this FIU team could be really dangerous come Conference USA tournament time, as Savage gets a pretty good look at a 3. When you have to play in back-to-back games, the last team you want to play is a team that's going to press for 40 minutes.
That's a good point. FIU is going to have to win 4 games in 4 days to win the Conference USA Championship. And they already know they're going to play Rice. Rice losing today to UTEP, so they finished 12th. The Rice Owls, although they did lose today, they've won 6 of 9. So that's going to be a tough test for an FIU team that lost at Rice in their only meeting, as Western Kentucky turns the ball over. The Conference USA tournament beginning on Wednesday with the first round. Western Kentucky won't play until Thursday. The quarterfinals, they'll be either the 2 or the 3 seed. CBS Sports Network, your home for the semifinals on Friday, and CBS has the championship game on Saturday.
That's why I love this defense by Western Kentucky. A little token 3-quarter court press just to kind of slow down the tempo of the other team.
Oh, a little Euro step, and Jacob makes up for that missed 3. Hollingsworth from the elbow, and he knocks that down.
Boy, how much has he been cooking the last few games?
He is red hot.
Just unstoppable. There's no team in the conference that can really slow down Hollingsworth right now.
Well, Osase Osagai got a second crack at it, and Jacob, it wasn't easy, but he finally got that stuff to fall through.
But the senior showing a little athleticism on the baseline. Love it. Good D by Andrews. It's a team, FIU, who loves to get deflections. It's not always about the steal, but the deflection as well.
That pass too high for Carson Williams, so Jordan Rawls turns it over, and here comes Jacob again. Missed that. Josh Anderson the rebound. Anderson spinning around Osagai, who I believe got his fingertips on that. Hollingsworth defers to Williams for 3.
You have to pump fake and ball fake against FIU. They're going for steals, they're going for blocks. If you can get FIU's front court to leave their feet around the rim, not only will you get layups, but because of their help side defense, you're going to get 3s as well, but you've got to utilize those pump fakes.
Hollingsworth out ahead of everybody. Missed it, but he knew it, and got it right back and scored, so just padded the rebounding stats. Tavion Hollingsworth has 4 points, a rebound, and an assist so far in this one.
I imagine you were the type of player that liked to pad his stats like that back in the day, Hassel.
Of course. Deep 3 from Antonio Day Jr., who did not play in one of those 2 home losses that FIU has this season. That was against North Texas. He had strep throat, and they just weren't the same team. North Texas came in here a little more than a week ago and blew out this Florida International team.
Day's a little banged up, too. He's got a bone bruise on his knee. Didn't practice much yesterday.
Jordan Rawls trying to get it going again. Three-pointer. He was a Conference USA Freshman of the Week back in November. Hasn't played too well of late, but maybe that gets him going. Osagai.
He's got great hands around the rim. It's not just on his blocks, but offensively. You throw it around the rim on the offensive end, he's going to go get it.
Anderson missed the dunk. That's not something that you see often from Josh Anderson.
Shocking, actually, and it's very rare when you have that wide open of a look.
Devon Andrews, just 6 for 23 over his last 3 games. The team's leading scorer knocks down his second shot in his first 3-point attempt.
And Coach Ballard said, you know, Andrews is going to get his threes. He's going to get his buckets. I'm challenging him on the defensive end in the half court. Can he become an elite defender? We need him to be an elite defender in the tournament.
A week ago, they went into Charlotte and blew out the 49ers. Really impressive victory. Rawls 2 for 2 from deep. But again, Andrews struggled with his shot, but Jeremy Ballard said it was the best defensive game he played, and it was a big difference in that game. We're 5 minutes into this thing. We haven't had a dead ball until now. A whistle with 15:03 to go. Western Kentucky leads by 4, but Osase Osagai already making his presence known on both ends.
Why would you challenge Big O? Don't do it. I care about you. There's just a glimpse of the timing, and on the other end, he's the recipient of some great alley-oops all season long. Big fella, making plays.
Osase Osagai, as a freshman, only played 12 minutes total. As a sophomore, averaged just 3 points and 3 rebounds a game, but took a big jump when Jeremy Ballard took over a couple of seasons ago. Osase Osagai, now a senior from Miami, came in, cut out the carbs, lost a bunch of weight. He walked on to this team. The nation's leading shot blocker was a walk-on here at FIU, but he has a 7'3" wingspan, and I don't think he clips his fingernails either, so it's more like 7'4". And he leads the nation in blocks. He says passion is the one word that describes his game.
FIU's all-time leader in blocks, and just does so much around the rim. His timing, his anticipation, his aggressiveness. Sometimes he doesn't even leave his feet, and he can test shots so well. Just a huge piece.
For much more on Osagai, we send it over to Ashley Holder.
Yeah, guys, I had the chance to speak with him yesterday. He's literally a character, a great guy with awesome energy. His name in Nigerian actually means God leads the way, and he said that's exactly how he tries to be on and off of the court. So now that leads us into our next poll question. What is the best way to slow down Osagai? It's either hit your three-pointers, get him in foul trouble, or ball movement. Guys, what do you think? I'm going to probably have to say get him in foul trouble.
Well, the way you get him in foul trouble is you have to pump fake around the rim, because you know he's coming for the block. If you can pump fake, come down with 2 feet, and drive into his chest, you'll be able to get him in foul trouble. The problem is that his timing is so good, he can jump twice quickly if he misses it the first time.
I think if you hit your threes, you're going to be okay, because you're going to likely build a lead, and he's not as effective on the offensive end, because they're going to need to take threes to come back in the game. So I think if you hit threes, you can beat him. Hey, I want to remind you that you can turn off the comments at the bottom of the screen by swiping right on your mobile device. Just swipe those comments right if you don't want to see those comments and reactions anymore. We understand. If you like them, keep commenting. We're monitoring the comments, and we'll share the best ones on the broadcast. CBS Sports Network on Facebook Watch here from Miami. FIU trailing 13-9 early. Played nearly 5 minutes of this game without a single whistle until we had a foul. Antonio Day missing the first free throw. He's the best free throw shooter on the team at 72%.
He's one of the top freshman guards in Conference USA last season, had made 18 starts for the Panthers. Just got a little bit better over the summer, put a lot of work in the gym.
Jonathan Nunez checking in for FIU, wearing that number 21, part of that full court press. Jordan Rawls, boy, he is red hot. 8 points and a chance to make it 9. So 2 3-pointers and now a chance at 3 the hard way.
If you can beat the first trap, you'll have some opportunities around the rim because FIU goes in scramble mode. The reason why that play works so well is because you always have to worry about Western Kentucky's 3-point shooters. So if you break that first trap, you might have a lane to the bucket because 3-point shooters are extended out along the baseline.
Western Kentucky's made 4 of the last 5 shots. Rawls already more than his season average, came in averaging 8 points a game. He has 9 points in the first 5+ minutes of this game.
Now a little zone action for the Hilltoppers.
Cameron Corcoran. Now Savage gets it into Cameron Justice. Justice, the 6th man off the bench. A Western Kentucky team that only gets points from 6 players. They do get some minutes every now and then from Jeremiah Gambrell and Isaiah Cozart, but really this is a 6-man team.
Gambrell made some big plays in that Louisiana
Huge
Tech
bucket.
game. And oh my gosh, late in the game.
The final minute of that game.
It was great. Nice pass.
And a flush from Damon Kerrigan. FIU has made 4 straight buckets. Good shooting early on for both teams, over 50%. Tavion Hollingsworth lost it. It's a 2-on-1. 3-pointer Corcoran. Tipped out by Nunez, and second chance for FIU.
What a heady play by Nunez. He wasn't going to get the rebound, but he tipped it to his teammate to keep the possession alive. Guys like that who are stars in their role that come off the bench and then knock down a 3. That's what you love, your Coach Ballard. Good ball movement by the Panthers.
Jonathan Nunez only averaging 4 minutes a game, and he's only played in about half the games this season. But a great couple of minutes off the bench.
But I think you'll see him play a little bit more because of the fact that Day is still nursing somewhat of a knee injury. He's playing in this game. He started, but Day is the engine. He'll find minutes for him.
Hollingsworth ends a 7-0 FIU run, and Western Kentucky seesaws back out on top. Trajan Jacob blew the bunny. Hollingsworth 1-on-2, uses the glass.
He's so smooth. He's got a lot of Darren Collison, Rajon Rondo in his game. He's just a great finisher in the lane.
Nunez skips it outside. Blake Furcron missed it. Kerrigan gets it right back to Furcron. And a nice move by Eric Lovett with the left hand.
I love it. How about that? That was smooth. Up and under. That play started because Nunez got the Hilltoppers in scramble mode with his penetration and kick.
It's brought great energy off the bench. Oh, wide open 3 from Carson Williams. He can certainly do that. You cannot leave him open.
Yeah, Williams is one of my favorite players in Conference USA. He is just the epitome of blue-collar basketball. Love everything about his toughness and basketball IQ.
Nunez.
Hooping.
Oh, man, he's got
Hooping.
5 points already in this one.
Hooping.
And he's really made some great plays that don't even show up on the stat sheet. Rawls blows by him, though.
Better be careful. You don't want to get into a track meet with FIU.
Rawls.
That's a bad shot.
Way too strong from the corner.
You break the press and you take a contested 3 earlier in the shot clock. That's, Coach Stansberry would say, slow it down when we break a press. You saw he put his hand up. We need to slow this thing down.
They got a 2-point lead. Under 11 minutes to play first half. Williams, another one. Back-to-back triples for Carson Williams.
In a rhythm, the junior. stepped up big since Charles Bassey went out and averaging 14 a game.
Ball poked away. Jared Savage the steal. Drops it off Hollingsworth. And he got bumped before he went up. As we hit the under 12 timeout. Western Kentucky with a 5-point lead on FIU. They survived a 7-0 run by FIU. Some great play from Jonathan Nunez.
And like you said, it wasn't just the shots that he made, but he made some great driving kicks. He had an offensive rebound tap out, and then Carson Williams, back-to-back threes for the junior. That might be fool's gold offense, though, Chris. You want to be careful shooting so many contested threes when you break the press.
Here's the look at the bracket as it stands right now for the Conference USA tournament. North Texas is going to be the 1 seed. Western Kentucky will be the 2 if they win here tonight, or if Louisiana Tech loses. Charlotte's locked into the 4. FIU knows it's going to play at 6:30 Eastern on Wednesday against Rice, and Jeremy Ballard was aware of that. We've got the semifinals on CBS Sports Network and also the championship game to follow next Saturday. So Friday and Saturday, CBS Sports Network, your place for the Conference USA tournament. And Mike, you got a couple of ways for both these teams to find their way to a championship.
Yeah, for the Hilltoppers, have to have Savage and Justice to get hot, and they must stay out of foul trouble. You know, with a depleted roster, you have to stay out of foul trouble. You got to play hard without fouling. For FIU, as long as they own the havoc, they're going to be fine, but they need to learn how to play defense in the half court. It's not just the press. If the press gets broken, can they stay sound and efficient, really kind of hold true to the fundamentals in the half court and rebound the basketball?
Which one of these teams has a better shot to win the Conference USA Championship? I think from an outsider's perspective, you would say definitely Western Kentucky. They almost won the regular season, but they only have 6 players.
Well, and that's the point. I think Western Kentucky has the more individually talented team, but FIU is a team that you do not want to play in the conference tournament, especially if they get to the semis. If they win a couple games in a row and you're playing your 3rd game, you'd be exhausted having to break the press for 40 minutes. I think FIU might be the most dangerous team in the CUSA tournament.
It's all set up for FIU. They've got Rice in the first round. Then they know if they win that, they have a Charlotte team that they just beat by 15 at Charlotte a week ago. Ashley?
Yeah, guys, Coach Ballard letting his guys know that the Hilltoppers are getting open because we aren't talking enough. We can't assume. Talk your way through it. I need more urgency from the 5 guys that are on the court right now. He stressed they've got almost 30 points in 10 minutes from WKU, and they cannot have that. Chris?
Thank you, Ashley. Isaiah Cozart in the game for Western Kentucky. I like it. Gets a little bit of playing time, gets the ball right away, goes up strong.
That's your Gatorade Kentucky Basketball Player of the Year, making a monster play in the post.
And they have 3 Kentucky Mr. Basketballs, and he's the 2019 Gatorade Kentucky Player of the Year. Wasn't Mr. Basketball, but got the Gatorade Award. I think he thought he was going to see a lot more playing time this season. Alley-oop, Savage from Hollingsworth. Usually it's Josh Anderson with the big dunks, but Savage getting up and almost blocked that one. Second chance for FIU. Jacob, the lefty, hits a big 3 after the lead ballooned to 9.
That's the killer thing about this Panthers team. You may feel great about breaking the press, throwing up for a lob, and all of a sudden they run right back at you, get an offensive rebound and a 3 kick out. There's a good decision by Justice, turning down that contested 3, running your offense, make FIU guard you for the entirety of the shot clock.
Western Kentucky sizzling to start this game. 12 for 18 from the floor, 5 for 7 from deep. They haven't played since that Sunday loss to North Texas, so they had to sit and stew on that all week long. A heartbreaking defeat that in all likelihood would have given them a Conference USA championship. They'd likely be playing for the #1 seed today had they hit a couple of free throws down the stretch. Look at Savage getting up.
The 3-point shooter rising up above the rim, and Coach Stansbury does not like those ticky-tack fouls in the post, because this is the last team, not just in Conference USA, but in the country, that can afford their star players to get in foul trouble.
Well, they're 5th in the nation in fouls per game. with under 14 a game, and they need to do that because, as you mentioned, they're so thin. They can't afford anybody getting in foul trouble. That can affect the game. Another alley-oop, this time from FIU. That's Isaiah Banks.
This feels like a big-time AAU game where we got lob plays, team pressing for 40 minutes. This is awesome.
And a steal, and another stuff from Banks. The whistle because the net got stuck. Isaiah Banks coming in and throwing haymakers.
I guarantee you have never dunked it hard enough to where the net gets caught in the rim, Chris Hassel. That was vicious.
I dunked the battery once on a 9.5-foot hoop.
Good for you. That definitely doesn't count, but appreciate that thought.
Well, listen here, pal. I'm sure you didn't dunk either. Josh Anderson can dunk.
You are correct. Not even close.
Josh Anderson's my favorite dunker in the country. Obi Toppin's pretty good. Josh Anderson's just so powerful, gliding.
Yeah, there are very few players in the country that can compete with Josh Anderson's athletic ability around the rim, because it's not just in the open court. He will dunk on you. Don't test Josh Anderson.
Ironically enough, he's the guy who has the one missed dunk in this game.
Shocking, yeah. Shocking.
You see those cabanas behind Josh Anderson there behind the hoop. I got those same things in my back patio at my house about an hour and a half north of here. In fact, my cushions are really dirty. I'm thinking about just taking a few of these. We got a one-point game. FIU is getting hot. Almost forced another turnover, but now numbers for Western, and Cameron Justice hits the three. Now, Mike, if he would have missed that, I guarantee you would have said that's a bad shot.
That's right, but it went in, so it's a great shot. Cameron Justice is that one guy, though, that you kind of have the green light in the press to let go from three.
And we are going back and forth.
This is awesome.
Dunks, threes, everything. Josh Anderson lays it in.
I thought Anderson was going to rip baseline and go for it. It looked like he had the momentum to do that.
What is going on here?
Goodness.
Defense optional, and that's okay with us. Cameron Justice.
Too much.
Gave it up, yeah.
He knows.
Tried to pass it to Isaiah Cozart, and we hit a much-needed breather in the action.
I pulled a hammy in that sequence, Chris.
Wow. 37-36. We still have 7:09 to play in this first half. Jordan Rawls has 9 points, a couple of threes, and a three-point play.
That's a freshman stepping up and making some monster plays. Had that great three and then broke the press twice. Beat a double team for an and one. Big-time play for the freshman.
Carson Williams also has 9 points for Western Kentucky. Those are the two leading scorers on that side. Trajan Jacob has 10 points for FIU.
Okay.
Tavion Hollingsworth's last couple of games, averaging 32.5. He was the National Player of the Week after scoring 40+ in that overtime comeback victory against Louisiana Tech. But Mike, we know that how he's going to remember that last week is the way things ended at North Texas. He had 2 free throws with 5.6 to go to give Western Kentucky a lead, and he missed them both.
He's one of the best free throw shooters in Conference USA, and just a heartbreaking trip to the free throw line by Hollingsworth.
And the third member of our crew, Ashley Holder, was able to speak with Tavion Hollingsworth before this game. Ashley?
Yeah, I had a chance to speak to Tavion Hollingsworth before the game about those 2 missed free throws at North Texas, and he was just really down about it. He said it took him a few days just to get over the situation. He said his coaches had to talk to him, his teammates had to talk to him. He had to take a couple of minutes just to be by himself and really get his mind together. He actually said that now he takes 50 free throws before practice and after practice. He also added, I won't be back in that position again and letting my team down. So it's safe to say he took about at least 100 free throws before this game. Chris?
Well, yeah, he's at 84% on the season. That's 8th in Conference USA. And Rick Stansbury mentioned before the game, he's like, what'd you think? 5 seconds to go, Tavion Hollingsworth on the line. Of course, thought you'd win.
That's the guy you want at the free throw line.
You see the poll, what's the best way to slow down Osagai, and 65% of you say foul trouble. I'm in the minority. I said hit your threes. And Western Kentucky's done that. They've made 6 of their 8 threes.
Yeah.
They're only up 1, so I guess that goes to show that I might not be right.
Well, they're breaking the press with great ball movement, and that's leading to open three-point shots, and that is one way to affect the play of Big O. Zone defense for the Hilltoppers.
Banks. Oh, man, he's dunking it. He's raining threes. He's got 10 points to tie his teammate Jacob for the game lead in points. And FIU is on top.
That was a great job by Josh Anderson of sprinting to the open floor and saving Rawls. Justice.
2 for 2 from deep. If they can get his shot back,
X factor.
they're going to be real tough to beat in the Conference USA tournament. He's kind of struggled with that ever since the back injury.
Coming into Conference USA play, he was the best three-point shooter in Conference USA, and in the last 10 games has struggled to find a rhythm. But Coach Stansbury said Cameron Justice hitting threes is our X factor. Opens everything up and takes so much pressure off Tavion Hollingsworth.
He's going from deep. You know he's feeling good about that shot.
And you know he's not coming out of the game because you're really hard to substitute with your Western Kentucky and let it fly.
Devon Andrews continuing to struggle with his shot. 1 for 4 in this game. Justice.
Number 5, Cameron Justice.
I tell you, Cameron Justice is doing everything right now for Western Kentucky. He had an open three initially, turned it down with a pump fake, and then puts it high on the glass right above that white square. The one spot that maybe a Saga he just can't get to.
Well, he tried. He slammed the backboard. It would have been goaltending had it not gone in. Western Kentucky leading by 3. They're shooting 68% from the floor, 17 for 25. And every player that's played in this game has not only made a shot, but every player is shooting 50% or above. Another alley-oop flush. Damon Kerrigan. These guys going to have blisters on their hands after this game. All the running into the rim they've done. Goodness.
This is haymaker after haymaker. I mean, this has been really good offense, but we're not going to talk about the defense, Chris, because it's too fun.
Way too fun. I'll take it. You don't get many games like this at Conference USA. Jordan Rawls
How good is he
has
been?
11 points.
Yeah, remember, he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school. Had offers from Georgia Tech, Ole Miss, Kansas State. Was an elite recruit. Got a lot of firepower.
Job by Day, getting on the floor, saving that possession. Corcoran. Justice the rebound.
Corcoran took too long to get that shot off. He was not in shot prep ready form.
Now Western Kentucky slowing things down, getting the call from the sideline. 4.5 to play first half. Williams. Had to push that thing up toward the rim after the foul, but he'll get 2 free throws. Devon Kerrigan the foul.
Old school game. I love it. That felt like game point at the YMCA, and Williams just knows how to operate efficiently in tight spaces. A quick little initial pump fake, and he uses his left hand as a shield to draw that foul.
Carson Williams, one of 5 players in the Conference USA All-Academic team. He's already got his degree, his bachelor's degree. You know what it was in?
I do not.
Criminology. Getting his master's now.
Had a teammate who majored in criminology. There's a lot of reading in that major, Chris. I couldn't take it.
Not for you, huh?
Nope.
Harry Potter was enough.
One of the Phoenix, Chris. Nothing like it.
Western by 5. And a very entertaining first half. That 3 is good. Another one for FIU. That one from Lovett. They have 7 threes. So both teams with 7 triples in the first half. It's a good basketball game. A bunch of threes, a bunch of dunks, not a lot of whistles. Williams gets called for the offensive foul. And a good defense from Blake Furcron.
Offensive foul number 22.
Western Kentucky 7 of 10 from 3-point range. They've got a 1-point lead.
And the ball movement's been fantastic. So much of it has been breaking the press and then driving and kicking. There's been really great spacing for Western Kentucky. And then FIU is shooting quick threes in the shot clock, and they have been on fire. Everybody getting in on the action for the Panthers. Both teams really humming offensively here tonight.
How about a little MOD minute? You got 1 minute, Mike. You can talk about anything in the world. What's it going to be?
Recruiting, Chris. That's what
Okay.
I want to talk about. And we just talked about how Jordan Rawls was a big-time recruit coming out of high school. You have to really understand when you're being recruited at a high level, mid-major level, whatever it is, you want to really pay attention to a couple of things. Number one, you want to research the teams that are recruiting you. How many players at that position do they have? Is it in the right area that you want to be in? And secondly, do you have a relationship with the head coach? That may sound really simple, but if you're only being recruited by the assistant coaching staff and you rarely talk to the head coach, that's a problem. You need it. That's the guy who dictates your playing time and really your season. If you don't have a relationship with the head coach, that's huge and hugely important. And you have to prioritize what's important to you. Is style of play important to you? Is location important to you? Is academics important to you? All those things need to match up, and ultimately you need to check as many boxes as you can. Don't always go with the biggest, don't always go with the first. You got to find what checks all of your boxes.
Well, this is a good location, that's for sure. Miami. You can recruit here, no question about that. Western Kentucky with a 1-point lead here at FIU. We are going to take a look back at Western Kentucky's epic comeback against Louisiana Tech coming up at halftime. Got about a 4-minute piece on that, so I think a lot of the fans watching this back in Bowling Green, probably at that game, wanting to take a look back at that 15-point comeback in the final 3 minutes. We're also going to go in-depth on this court here at FIU. And we're going to give you bracket advice as well as we head into the meat of March. I want to remind you, if you don't want the comments, just swipe them to the right. Swipe them off your screen. Our feelings won't be hurt. Oh, Sasai Osagai hasn't really been that much of a factor in this game. Just 2 points, 1 rebound. I believe just 1 block as well. They go right to him out of this timeout.
Well, when you're knocking down threes, that was the thing you talked about, Chris. It's hard to really be a factor defensively. You know, going back to that recruiting conversation, Chris, you know, we talked with Coach Ballard before the game.
Yeah.
He said, you know, I inherited somewhat of a blank slate here. That just the roster wasn't as thick as I thought. I thought it was going to coming into this season, his first season. And he says, I'm still trying to teach and explain to people where FIU is. And then when recruits hear, oh, it's in Miami, they kind of perk up a little bit and say, oh, that's interesting. Now you're in Conference USA, and Coach Ballard, no question, has this program trending in absolutely the right direction.
20 wins last season. They lost in the first round of the Conference USA tournament. Try to get over that hump. As Rawls had to hoist with the shot clock expiring. Tied up at 45, under 3 minutes to play first half in a back and forth ball game. Western Kentucky has led by as many as 9 points in this one. But for the most part, it's been within 3 or 4 points. Osagai, that's his spot, baby.
Yeah, that's smooth. Left-handed 2 dribble into the paint. Hard to contest when you got a over 7-foot wingspan, little baby hook.
Saw him do that to Charlotte firsthand a week ago. Just kept getting to that exact spot. He's really good with that turnaround jump hook.
It's hard to guard. I wish more post players would do that. Carson Williams played great defense. It was just better offense.
Again, the shot clock winding down. 5 seconds. Rawls has it in his hands once again. Going to work. And it's a shot clock violation. So basically, back-to-back possessions where they get no look at the hoop.
Good patience by the big fella. 2 hard pound dribbles into the paint, and then right-handed with some nice little touch.
FIU leading by 2. They've only turned it over 1 time. Well, they've turned Western Kentucky over 7 times in this game.
Coach Ballard has really made that a point of emphasis. Listen, we have to take care of the ball, guys.
Osagai missed that 3, and it was flung out of bounds by Trajan Jacobs, so it's Western Kentucky ball. Osagai hasn't attempted many threes this season. He's 3 for 9 now.
When you're playing fast and we're playing havoc, a bad shot is better than a bad pass because you can go get the offensive rebound. Can't get a turnover if you take a shot.
Savage, really the only player out there who's been cold from deep. He's 0 for 2, and he's the best 3-point shooter on the floor for either team. Osagai threw that right out of bounds.
That's a bad pass by Osagai, but Andrews has to move to the open spot. Watch Andrews just stay still. If he moves to the bottom right, there's a better angle and even an open 3 for him. He can't just sit and wait and watch. Moving without the basketball is the most underrated skill in college basketball.
One minute to go, first half. Western Kentucky trailing by 2. Shot clock dwindling once again. It's down to 5. Williams, yes! But it's a charge. The officials looked at one another, and they wave off the basket, a charge.
Wow, looked like a lot of movement. So we take a look at the replay. That's a 50-50 call, Chris. That view makes me think it's probably a charge. That's a 50-50 play, really hard to call.
And the second foul on Carson Williams.
Trying to go 2 for 1 here.
Day missed it and then tipped it out of bounds and almost jumps into the tuba section. Yeah, you could tell he's not
limping.
Moving right.
No, he's hurting.
Playing through the pain. Had strep throat last week.
And we have a timeout on the floor.
Bone bruise that he's just fighting his way through. These are the Conference Player of the Year candidates. Javion Hamlet on the North Texas team that won the regular season championship. Javon Jackson, one of the highest scorers in the country. Top 3 all season long, averaging about 27 points a game. And Tavion Hollingsworth, reigning National Player of the Week. Who would your vote go to if you had one, Mike?
Well, Jackson is the best player in Conference USA, but Tavion Hollingsworth is the best player on the second best team in Conference USA. And I think it's ultimately going to end up going with Hollingsworth, even though Jackson is the more talented player. Hollingsworth is the most important player in Conference USA.
I think that comeback win and those 40-plus points against Louisiana Tech sealed the deal last week.
He's been so good in late games. The last 10 minutes of games, he's shooting 42% from 3, 53% from the field. He's just an absolute go-to guy late in the game for Western Kentucky.
7-second difference here. The shot clock winds down to 10. Game clock winding to 15. Jared Savage just steps all the way through the palm trees, through the brush, and nothing but ocean out in front. 5 seconds to play until halftime. Day, no good as the first half comes to an end. And we are right where we started. A tie game, 47-47. Both teams have hit 7 3-pointers. Both teams shooting 50% or above from the floor. Both teams have a real opportunity to pull out a regular season finale win before the Conference USA tournament begins on Wednesday. Ashley Holder is with Jeremy Ballard.
Yeah, Coach, a very fast pace this first half. What do you like from your team so far?
Yeah, it was a track meet, which we're okay with, but we got to get more stops. We're not doing a good enough job getting matched up in transition, not doing a good enough job of getting into the press quick enough, and we've given up too many open shots. So Western Kentucky is obviously they're probably the most talented offensive team in the conference. So, you know, we have to make sure we're sharp on this end with our talk and with our urgency.
And it's been a quiet night so far from Osai guy. How do you get him going more in this second half?
Yeah, we got him going there a little bit at the end, but the game is so up and down. He's got to make an impact defensively, which he always does, and with the screening on the other end. But if the game's going to be up and down, he's just got to run. That's why he's worked so hard in the summer with this conditioning.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ashley. Western Kentucky and FIU throwing haymakers back and forth. Bunch of dunks, bunch of threes. And we've got a tie game at the end of the first half. CBS Sports Network on Facebook Watch. We are back right after these messages.
The excitement of Division I college basketball in the month of March is returning to Ford Center and the Star in Frisco, Texas. Get your tickets now for the 2020 Conference USA Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, presented by Baylor Scott & White Sports Performance Center. 22 basketball games over 4 days in one location, March 11th through March 14th. For tickets, visit your Conference USA team box office or go to conferenceusa.com. You won't want to miss Hoops at the Star.
The flat path is easy, but for the inspired, there is a spirit that kindles a desire to climb higher, to soar, to roll, to reach new heights. The wish to be a part of something more, to do more and to be more. Hilltoppers know that life at the top is worth the climb. Climb with us at Western Kentucky University.
Halftime here in Miami between the home-standing FIU Panthers and the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. You could argue that no team has been tougher to put away this season than the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. 5 different times during this Conference USA season, they've trailed by double digits and come back to win the game. The most improbable comeback came a week ago against Louisiana Tech. Western Kentucky was down by 15 with just over 3 minutes to go, and the Hilltoppers scaled their highest peak.
Louisiana Tech seeking its first win here in over 20 years. Archibald drains it with one on the timer, just his second make of the game.
We just knew when we got down 15 with about 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. The only way we're going to win the game, carry like Old Dominion. We got to win it. We got to get some turnovers or some stops, but we got to get that clock stopped.
Hollinger opens the foul line and it's good. Pass coming to the right block to Muhammad. Bounce passing into Pemberton on the other block, and he missed a short shot. Savage retrieves with the rebound to Tavion. Shoots a 3 off the dribble and nails it.
3-possession game. I mean, I've seen stranger things happen.
Especially this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had a team that's been down and out as many times and find ways to claw back.
Miss, easy board for Anderson. Minute to go. Not a great outside shooter. Savage is off the heel. Hollingsworth leaning. A career game for Tavion Hollingsworth. It's down to 5.
We said going this game, we got to have some guys make some threes. Cam Justice stepped up and he made some threes.
Williams dribbles to the top of the key to the foul line. Deep to Justice. Fakes it, shoots it from 3, and rattles it home. The never say die Tops are right in it again.
Time fading. Hollingsworth, the deep 3.
I never stop and believe in my team. I know we can do anything. We overcome anything. And, you know, we just ready to play at all times.
A miss. 3-point game. No timeouts. Hollingsworth on a huge night to tie.
I just shot it because I knew I had to. So, you know, it just fell and it felt good.
With 3 minutes to go. Louisiana Tech was winning 69-54.
Bracy, double, half-court heave, off the glass, and overtime arrives.
Unbelievable. Bounce pass, stolen by Josh Anderson coming down, and Archibald slam dunks it, and the game is tied again at 83.
Archibald opposite, Gene catched her on the lead, and the three ball. Wow, has been quiet, wrapping around Anderson to the rim, loses the ball. Gabriel rarely plays, he euros and lays it home.
Give him credit. He lowered that head down a little bit and found a way to take the ball off of 2 feet and put his shoulder in that chest a little bit and finish a huge play.
40 points for Tavion Hollingsworth. The first 40-point showing by a Hilltopper since 2004.
Unbelievable.
We just never quit believing.
1.2 seconds to go. The shot is up. And you can open up the doors and let the ushers in. This show is over. It's 95-91.
Baseball pass. Tipped. Western Kentucky completes the comeback.
Wow. I mean, this one will bring tears to your eyes.
Wow.
You told me Old Dominion was the greatest comeback you'd ever seen. Now, we topped that one?
Have to change my mind.
Perfect. Perfect.
Mr. Western has seen a lot of Hilltopper basketball, but he had never seen an upset and a comeback like that. With Mike O'Donnell, I'm Chris Hassel. Just incredible stuff, and we've been seeing it all season long from this Hilltopper team.
Well, how about Tavion Hollingsworth? 43 points in 43 minutes. He was unbelievable, but Cameron Justice, we really talked about how he's the X factor throughout the course of the season. He knocked down 4 monster threes for the Hilltoppers, really kept them in that game.
We're at halftime here. Western Kentucky taking on Florida International. The third member of our crew, Ashley Holder, is here with us as well. And Ashley, we've talked about it before, this incredible court that we have in front of us at FIU. It's Miami. I would expect nothing less.
Listen, they give it that Miami flair right here. It's really swagged out. You've got the ocean. You've got the palm trees. You've got the sand. There's cabanas over here. I actually had a chance yesterday to speak to some of the players about what they thought about this amazing court.
Pretty cool because like the water symbolizes wet, like a shot, like a jumper, and then the jungle kind of like you don't want to come here when you play that, so it's kind of cool. And then we're in Miami, so it's like a double entendre, so it's pretty cool. In my opinion, I like the ocean. You know, I jump shots, pure water. So you know, but as far as the court, it's a different feel. You know, I feel like it brings out the atmosphere for us. We play harder at home. Seeing the floor, it's not like everybody else's floor. Just the overall creativity of the court, I think it's pretty cool. I think it matched our play style. Our coach likes to say we play like we're hungry, like we're in the jungle, so it matched perfect. When you step on the court, it just breathes energy into you, honestly. And I believe Boise State, that's probably the most like familiar one because I remember just being a little kid and they had like the bright blue court, so probably Boise State. I think I just like our court the most out of everybody. In my opinion, I like a little pop. So when I was growing up, I used to like Long Beach State. Hey, I'm going to interview. I mean, it's just, sorry. One more time.
Listen, it took me a long time to get those interviews done yesterday, okay? It took a long time, but those guys are awesome.
So you love this court here at FIU.
I literally love this court. This is one of my favorite courts, and I think it's because of the ocean. I mean, and the palm trees and the sand. I'm a millennial. Listen, I'd rather be at the beach than anywhere else,
That's
right?
true.
Where else would I rather be?
We're not that far away. Well, we put together a list of some of our favorite courts outside of FIU. Mike, I know you had your eye on one. You'll lead us off.
Yeah, George Washington Charles Smith Center over in Foggy Bottom. I love how clean and crisp it is. It's got the silhouette of Capitol Hill. Big fan of that. And then Notre Dame's court, the Joyce Center, and you put a big shamrock in the middle of the court. I'm all about it, man. It's great stuff. And then Xavier's Stadium, the Cintas Center, you put an X marks the spot right in the middle. It's so great.
Ashley, you love Oregon deep in the woods.
I love Oregon deep in the woods. I think that they're one of the most popped out courts. I mean, just super swag. Like, how can you not like playing on a court like that? And Phil Knight, I mean, it's the owner of Nike. What can you do?
There's the shamrock, a couple of Mike's picks, and the X marking the spot at the Cintas Center. I'm a little bit old school. I like the new look from Colorado. The mountains there on the court, still clean. Indiana, I mean, it's looked the same for 50 years. History, tradition. You can't go wrong.
Did you pick those while you were sitting in your rocking chair at Cracker Barrel, or what?
Eating white rice. Yeah, just get off my lawn. No, I think FIU does a good job here with this court because it gains attention. Anytime somebody comes in and does a game, it's one of the first things we talk about. It draws attention, and the team is kind of relatable to this court and related to this court. How about some bracket advice as we head into the middle of March here, Mike?
Well, for me, I always like to go with the best backcourt. I always feel that if your team survives on your front court play as a scorer, you don't really get a chance to advance in the tournament. Backcourt play is so important, but I've lost to my wife 3 years in a row. So just have your significant other who doesn't watch any games throughout the season pick your games, and you're probably going to win.
Selection Sunday is a week from Sunday, and one of my pieces of advice that I try to follow each and every year is to take Wisconsin a little bit farther than you think they're actually going to go. Usually I pencil them into the Sweet 16 no matter their seed, and I think every year but two they've been to the tournament this decade, they've gone to the Sweet 16, and again, another good season. I think they have an opportunity to make a push. So that's my advice. Take Wisconsin to the Sweet 16.
Well, I would have to say for my advice, it's probably the best advice out of all three of us. I'm just saying,
probably right.
You know what I mean? You have to pick the right amount of upsets. Literally, just pick anybody. You have to pick at least about 5 upsets. I mean, who had UMBC winning?
Nobody outside of the school.
Exactly. So you have
maybe
to
your wife. She did. She won.
Exactly. So you just have to pick maybe like 4 or 5, just a couple of them, and it's just a win.
Well, we have a poll question for you. Which bracket advice are you actually going to follow? Mike having his significant other, which is his wife, pick. My advice of taking Wisconsin to the Sweet 16. Or Ashley's advice, she's already said it's the best advice. Pick the right amount of upsets. She said normally about 5. You can't go crazy on that, though.
Now, did you build this graphic? Because it looks like yours is in bold.
Yeah, what's going on?
Everybody, the eyeballs are going right to the middle. I'm telling you.
in the middle.
The non-basketball savant is always going to win your bracket every time.
Take Wisconsin, baby. We're going to take you to this quick timeout, and when we come back, we've got the second half between the FIU Panthers and the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Less than a week to the Conference USA tournament.
For 25 years, Conference USA student athletes have set new standards of success. Our history includes those who are beyond competitors on the field, beyond champions in the classroom, and beyond heroes in their communities. We call them Hall of Famers. The Conference USA Hall of Fame class of 2019. Their legacies live on. To find out more about the inaugural class, visit conferenceusa.com.
We're a university founded on the site of an airport, reaching new heights. It's in our DNA. And since then, we've dedicated ourselves to solving the big problems facing our community and the world. We believe that crazy startup idea isn't so crazy, that families without health care shouldn't have to go it alone. We believe we can be better prepared for the next hurricane, and that our coral reefs can be saved. And that's because, above all else, we believe in you.
Well, it's been a fun first half of basketball, and we've got a whole nother half, as they say. The second half coming up between Western Kentucky and FIU, 47-47. With Mike O'Donnell, I'm Chris Hassel. Ashley Holder will join us in just a minute. That was a fun first 20 minutes, partner.
That was awesome. I mean, that was back and forth. We're knocking threes down. We got big dunks. What an unbelievable pace to that first half. Can't wait for the second half.
Both teams shooting 50% or better. Both teams have 7 threes to their name and a bunch of dunks as well. Let's take a look at some of the storylines this Saturday in college basketball, as we are now just more than a week away from Selection Sunday. Utah State and Sam Merrill stunned San Diego State in the Mountain West Championship game. That was a game they might have needed, according to Jerry Palm, to get into the tournament.
Yeah, and will that knock San Diego State out of a potential 1 seed in NCAA tournament as well? What a great job by Utah State.
Kansas wins the Big 12 title for a 15th time in 16 years. They knock off Texas Tech 66-62. Texas Tech, a Final Four team from a season ago. Some other storylines in college basketball. UCLA does not clinch the Pac-12 title. They lost to USC, their in-town rival, by 2 points.
For the job Mick Cronin's done at UCLA.
Incredible.
Looked dead in the water and then just had a remarkable last 12 games of the conference season.
And how about Greg McDermott at Creighton? I gotta tell you, I thought when his son left, that might be it for Greg McDermott. Now they're gonna be top 10 and they share the Big East championship. Taking a look at the CUSA scoreboard, UTEP won every Group 3 game. They go into the conference tournament on a 4-game winning streak. Rice will take on FIU in the 5-12 game. Marshall beat UTSA. Southern Miss over Middle Tennessee in overtime, and Louisiana Tech blowing out Charlotte. Ashley Holder is with Rick Stansberry in this tie game.
Coach, tied at 47. What was your message to your team at the half?
You know, we really competed for 20 minutes. We got to find a way to compete for another 20 minutes. You know, offensively, we've been very good. 65%. We made shots. They've done the same thing. The one area they were better than us, we had 8 turnovers there, too. We got to eliminate those.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, getting ready for the second half, taking a look at the box score from the first. Jordan Rawls with 11 points, more than his average for the season. He scored 9 quick points the first 6-7 minutes of this game.
Rawls was terrific, the freshman in the first half, but if you look down at FIU, Banks, Jacob had really good first halves. A player we haven't talked about enough, Andrews, only had 3 points in the first half, FIU's leading scorer.
Andrews continuing to struggle shooting the ball the last 4 games or so, but the team is not struggling, shooting 50% from the floor. A lot of easy buckets at the rim.
And they got some help off the bench. Nunez and Lovett both had 5 points each in the first half, but FIU had 13 second chance points in that first half. Western Kentucky must do a better job boxing out and rebounding.
Our second half adjustments, you want Western to hit the glass and FIU to guard the 3-point line.
Well, Western Kentucky's breaking the press, and FIU is not scrambling and matching up to the shooters, and the Hilltoppers are taking advantage of breaking the press and open threes. They're knocking them down. I alluded to it earlier, though. Western Kentucky must box out as soon as the shot goes up because FIU is crashing the offensive glass.
All right, 20 minutes to go. Second half underway. Western Kentucky and FIU tied at 47. Western Kentucky looking like they're going to need to win this game to get the 2 seed, with Louisiana Tech winning in a rout right now. Now, there's not much of a difference between the 2 and the 3 in the Conference USA tournament.
You're crazy, Chris. It's only the first half. This is college basketball and anarchy. It's telling me they can't come back in the second half?
Well, you keep tabs on that one. I'll watch the game in front of us, Mikey. FIU locked into the 5 seed as Rawls misses the 3. Savage had a good box out, but lost it today.
Tough, and I thought Andrews was going to be more aggressive coming out in the second half. He's FIU's leading scorer. He's averaging almost about 15 points a game. Only had 3 points in the first half.
Had a whistle before that free throw. Checking something at the scores table. Our officiating crew, Les Jones, Tyler Kump, and Andrew Walton. Just resetting the fouls on the scoreboard. They had to completely reset after the first half. Andrews will get one more. What do you see from Andrews? He's really struggled with his shot, and that was one of the things we talked to Coach Ballard about before the game. He didn't seem worried at all that the offense will eventually come, but look, he's a senior. He may only have one more game. I mean, it's one and done in the conference tournament next game.
The best way to get back into a rhythm is a great offensive player. We got to travel. is defense. There's no better way to get back into an offensive rhythm than lock up, grab a steal in the full court, try to get to the free throw line, and get yourself back into the rhythm. A guy like Andrews just needs to see the ball go in, and the best way to do that is at the free throw line.
Okay. He was off balance, got his own rebound. Andrews, there we go, you said it. Made a couple free throws, now knocks down a three.
Best time to shoot a three is on an offensive rebound. And again, no box out for the Hilltoppers.
That one thrown away, and it's FIU ball. The 9th turnover of the game for Western Kentucky. FIU's only turned it over twice. Just a bad pass. Lead the conference in forced turnovers a game. It's 16. Isaiah Banks too strong on that three. Savage. Nothing but cord.
My goodness, it just ripped the net right off.
That's going the other way. An offensive foul called on Day.
Don't blink, folks, because FIU can get up in a hurry. There's Savage, just has beautiful rhythm, timing, and balance on his shot. Straight up, straight down, like he's shooting out of a phone booth. I don't know if they even make phone booths anymore, but.
That's another turnover. Anderson a little out of control as he looked to pass it to the big man, Williams. Yeah, I wouldn't buy stock in the phone booth manufacturing business.
That's one of the ways one of my elementary school coaches used to teach me how to not fade away on my jump shot. Was pretend that you're shooting out of a phone booth, that you have 4 glass walls around you, and you can't break the glass when you shoot. You've got to go straight up, straight down. Phone booth shooting, you weren't ready for that.
I was not. Hollingsworth.
I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed that Jacob didn't try to contest that at all, because Hollingsworth dared him to do that.
Andrews, a bit short. Williams clears the rebound. Charlie says that is one crazy court. You're right, Charlie. You got the palm tree on this end. You got the ocean on the other. It is a Miami feel. These players love it, though. Carson Williams, the board, got it blocked from behind, but a foul on Andrews.
If Western Kentucky can get a Saugai out contesting jump shots or contesting threes, deep threes, those offensive rebounds will be there for Williams. But those plays don't happen unless Western Kentucky gets into the paint with the basketball on drive and kick action.
Take another look at that, Mike.
The Saugai is out there contesting. That means nobody for FIU boxed out Williams at all. I mean, Day did a really poor job trying to push Williams out. And Williams is a low down there. I mean, that's like trying to box out Mike Allstott.
I don't know, we're in Miami, we're not in Tampa. I don't know about the reference. How about Zonka? Larry Zonka.
There you go, that'll work.
You gotta know where you're at.
Well, I grew up close to the Tampa Bay, Chris, so. Number 40, Mike Allstott.
There's Andrews again, so a couple of buckets here in the second half for Devon Andrews. And here's a steal. Day kicks it out. Andrews at three, way short. Now Hollingsworth, oh, he thought about ooping it to Anderson.
We both saw it.
Oh, Saugai, the block. And Hollingsworth just looks at him and laughs.
That's great, man. Hollingsworth knew. I think right here he knew as soon as he was shooting it, there's no shot. There's no shot. You're dead in the water.
That's block number 2 for Saugai. Tied at 54. Williams. Oh, he used the pump fake, but then got it blocked from behind by Andrews, who got slugged in the face. Anderson! Whoa, baby!
great googly moogly. That was insane. Did you see the elevation on that, Hassel?
I love it.
Holy cow.
You get one of those a game from Josh Anderson.
Jump from the pier. Man, that's awesome.
Andrews drew the foul.
So he's in a rhythm now.
I don't want to see every look at that dunk. Everything you got in the truck, give it to us. Josh Anderson.
My goodness, the ball fake is what sold it. More of that from Western Kentucky, please. And let Josh Anderson, Mr. Anderson, go to work.
And a little slow-mo. So graceful, powerful. (56-54). Western Kentucky leading by 2 with 15:54 to go in this game. Western shooting 60% from the floor in this one. How about some bracket advice? Let's spin the wheel, see who we... Oh, Virginia, the defending champions. Will Virginia win an NCAA tournament game? We're going to use some emojis and tell you what we think. Will Virginia win a tournament game?
I love that. Hard eyes for Virginia winning a tournament game.
Yes, absolutely, Virginia. They won today against Louisville.
Big win over Louisville.
Virginia's going to win multiple tournament games. Ashley Holder, what do you think?
I mean, of course they're going to win a game. I mean, they're going to win one game. Are they going to go far? I don't know about that. They barely could beat Miami, UNC, so I think I'm going to just give them this emoji.
Okay, a little winky face, tongue out. Michael Jordan action. Let's spin that wheel again, see who else we get. I want to get Iowa. Can we get Iowa? See the Hawkeye logo, the old Tiger Hawk. Are we going to get him?
A little date? No.
Oh, we get Kentucky. Now, the question is, will Kentucky reach this year's Elite Eight? Mike, lead us off with your emoji.
Laughable. I'm smiling and laughing so hard I'm crying, Chris Hassel, because no, especially without their point guard, Ashton Hagens. Don't know if there's enough rhythm for Kentucky. They've been inconsistent throughout the course of the season. The last 5 or 6 games have been fine, but without their point guard, who they shoot close to 10% better from 3 when he's on the court, they're not as good.
Because of Hagens, I've got this. I am not picking Kentucky to go to the Elite Eight. Ashley, what do you say?
Yeah, I don't see this one happening for Kentucky. And you know what? Just saying, I am a Tennessee alumni, so we did beat them this year. So I think that's probably why they're definitely not going to the Elite Eight.
Okay. Go Vols.
SEC bias. There's always SEC bias.
All those fans, of course, checking in with us on Facebook. If you don't want the comments, just swipe them to the right. Swipe them off your screen. Devon Andrews at the line. Try to tie this puppy up. FIU trailing by 2. Again, they're locked into the 5 seed. They will play Rice in the first round of the Conference USA tournament on Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern in Frisco. They already knew that they'd be playing Rice before this game started, and they know that if they win that, they play Charlotte. Western Kentucky, on the other hand, they just don't know. They don't know if there'll be a 2 or a 3, and they certainly don't know who they're going to be playing in that quarterfinal matchup, as they do get a bye. 6 ties, 8 lead changes. Western has led by as many as 9, but we're tied up at 56. Hollingsworth out to Rawls. 3 on the shot clock. Rawls out to Anderson. Got a hoist. That is not his shot, but Savage, right place, right time. Savage got hit.
He lost contact.
I've never understood how anyone could lose a contact on a basketball floor and be able to find it that quickly. I lose it in the bathroom, and it's gone for good.
I would be a goggles guy if I did need.
Would you? You'd be a Horace Grant?
Yeah. I did headband 1 year in high school.
Put the phone out, put the contact back in. I carry extra contacts with me because I know if one comes out, I'm not finding it.
That's high level by the athletic trainer, though, by bringing out the phone and showing the video so you can actually look and put it back in the eye.
Sure.
It was high level stuff.
Jane says go tops from Casey Moe. Kansas City in Missouri.
There you go.
Now there is a Kansas City in Kansas.
That's true. I've heard that. Zone defense for Western Kentucky, trying to mix it up.
Yeah, they forced a turnover, a rare one for FIU. That's number 5.
One thing with this lineup with Western Kentucky, you know, Coach Stansbury laughed about the load management comment because he said there's only so much we can do. Rawls is playing a lot more point guard, especially in the beginning of the halves, to allow Hollingsworth a little bit more time to relax.
So you think that's what it is? It's to relax a little bit?
Well, just to take some of the pressure off Hollingsworth, and especially against a team that's going to press for 40 minutes. If Rawls can break it on his own, that allows Hollingsworth to get set up offensively, and it gives him a breather.
That was a tough pass to Carson Williams, who bounces it out to Rawls for 3. And the rebound, love it. Quick launch on that 3-point attempt, no good. And a foul underneath. Looks like it's going to go on FIU. So we asked you a Facebook poll at halftime. Whose bracket advice you're going to follow? How about that? 62% with me as I get this frog out of my throat.
18%.
62% for me because I said take Wisconsin, okay? Take them at least to the Sweet 16. It normally works.
Everybody's doing exactly what they shouldn't do.
Wait a second.
And that's
why was I?
They're trying to trust their basketball knowledge. And if you want to pick a perfect bracket, get someone who isn't a basketball savant pick it for you. Well, they're going to win.
No one's ever picked a perfect bracket. It's never happened.
Well, I am aware of that, but I'm saying winning your bracket pool or whatever you decide to do.
I think we've all been hoodwinked, by the way. Why did we just give out our super secret bracket advice right before we're about to fill out our bracket?
Because it's still not going to matter and they'll all be burning.
Oh, I'm serious about it. I'm serious.
Oh, me too. I fill out 3 brackets.
Oh, I don't. You stay with one. Williams gets fouled. No, I think that's blasphemy. I think you can't fill out. If you're a real college basketball fan, you fill out one bracket. You can enter it in different leagues, but you fill out one bracket. You stick to that because that's what you truly believe is going to happen.
Okay. You're not running for political office right now, you know. I mean, we're talking about picking brackets. Too much anger.
Savage, only player in the NCAA with those numbers. They're going to miss him. This redshirt senior, transfer from Austin Peay. He's been their most consistent shooter, the glue guy. They get pretty much everybody else back, including likely Charles Bassett.
Yeah, no question. I mean, this team is going to be loaded again next season and should be the favorites in Conference USA.
They were the favorites this season, but of course lost Charles Bassett at a game that, Mike, you were calling on CBS Sports Network, a win against Arkansas earlier this season. As Lovett hits the 3.
I've been told that Bass is making fantastic progress. He's ready to go by next season.
Hollingsworth's just a junior. Carson Williams a junior. They will lose Cameron Justice as well, who has the ball right now, the grad transfer. Williams, nice move.
Wow, that little elevation from the big fella. Sweeping baby hook shot.
Andrews. Hollingsworth clears the rebound. A little high stepping.
Just love the way that Hollingsworth glides up and down the court.
Williams. And a foul on Western Kentucky. Back to that last offensive possession, Carson Williams, that old man YMCA game.
That's tough, man. That's a baby hook fading away from the rim. Smooth.
He's going to be a load to handle at noon in 20 years, isn't he?
Oh, man. No. Noon? No. He's the 9 a.m. game on Sunday morning. Okay. Not the noon. He's the 9 a.m. game on Sunday morning.
Wherever he ends up. He's originally from Owenston, Kentucky. Stay away from that YMCA. Carson Williams going to own it. Unless you want to get owned. I mean, if that's your kind of thing, get after it. Oh, high archer from Furcron, and Anderson gets run into.
There's two things that have happened in this second half because we haven't seen the same tempo or pace, that fast tempo pace that we've seen in the first half. One, FIU has not been able to get enough pressure in their full court press to cause any turnovers. And Western Kentucky isn't moving the ball as much as they were in the first half. That's a great job by Hollingsworth. He's just so savvy and intelligent. As soon as there's a reach in, he turns his body and he draws the foul. Really gifted at drawing fouls.
Not putting up the crazy points that he did last week, 10 of them, but he has 3 rebounds, 3 assists.
Well, with 12 minutes left to play, if there's anybody who can go off in 12 minutes, it's Tavion Hollingsworth.
And here he goes. Isaiah Cozart is checked back in. Osaga hit the floor, and
I thought that would have been a travel.
Is that what they called? What was the whistle for? I honestly don't know what the whistle was for. Mike, you have any idea?
I think it looked like his knee buckled briefly. I think they were checking to make sure he was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just a stoppage of play whistle.
Rick Stansbury wasn't happy with it. Whatever it was, I think he wanted what you thought was going to be the call, which was a travel. Boy, that was a line drive 3 from Lovett. FIU not shooting it well at all in the second half. They are 3 for 13 from the floor. But Western Kentucky's been unable to pull ahead by any substantial margin. Just a 3-point game. Could they be heading for another nail biter down the stretch? Hollingsworth under control.
Ball fakes will kill FIU, especially around the rim. You ball fake around the rim, you shot fake, you're gonna get an open look.
Andrews missed that. Osaga down to get it. Ooh, got swatted by Savage, but a foul on Cozart.
Sage was working for that loose ball underneath the rim.
11-10 to play in this one, and Western Kentucky leads it 64-59. Carson Williams leading the way with 16 points and 9 rebounds. Well, Jeremy Ballard in his second season from Florida International. He comes from that Shaka Smart coaching tree. Some of the other Shaka guys include Will Wade at LSU, Rhodes, of course, at VCU, a team that had high hopes but not going to make the tournament this year. All 3 current assistants with VCU ties.
It's incredible. If you hire well, you want your assistants to go on and get head coaching jobs. That's what makes a great assistant coach, is prepping yourself to be a head coach.
Joey Rodriguez, one of those assistant coaches for FIU. I know he's a friend of yours, and who's that little one?
Yeah, that's Kennedy Grace, born a few days ago, and Joey Rodriguez and I are good friends and playing the same Pro-Am team in Orlando for a number of years, and really just kind of owned the Pro-Am circuit in Orlando for a number of years.
You two guys did?
Yeah, I just passed it a lot to Joey. Remember, Joey led VCU to the Final Four. He was the point guard of that VCU Final Four team. That was oh man, just a fantastic team. There's a good shot of assistant
Is
coach
Ashley,
Joey Rodriguez.
is she on the FIU team now? I see her in the huddle. I see Joey, and then Ashley's right next to her. Now she's listening in. She'll report back what she hears from Jeremy Ballard, who's really doing an incredible job at FIU.
So it's no surprise that FIU plays fast. They want to run that havoc type defense that Shaka Smart instilled in VCU, and Mike Rhodes has continued to fill that in VCU as well. And FIU, we're seeing it now. And going back to Shaka Smart, though, everybody wrote him off. And first 10 games of the season, everybody wrote off Shaka Smart. And now Texas is playing themselves into a bubble team. A phenomenal coaching job by Shaka Smart in Texas.
Yeah, they've got a chance to make the NCAA tournament, but still have some work to do at the Big 12.
Without 2 starters. They've done it without 2 starters. Pretty phenomenal. Really enjoyed talking with Coach Ballard before the game. You know, we talked a lot about what's the recruiting pitch for FIU, and he said there's just a lot of education I have to do, but at the same time, he goes, players want to come to Miami. We want to find great shooters. We want to find great character guys. Those are our 2 qualities for FIU that we're looking for.
Ashley Holder was inside the huddle. Ashley, what'd you hear?
Yeah, that last huddle, Coach Ballard telling his team to shoot it if it's there. Drive and dish. They don't have enough players for fast offense. He also said, let's talk about the defense. Keep them in front of them. Lock down defense. They like to hesitate and then pull you up to their side and then go right past you. Stay locked down for 10 to 11 seconds before you do anything. Chris?
All right, Ashley, good stuff. Osase Osagai has 1 more free throw coming. 7 points, 4 rebounds, and a couple of blocks for the big man tonight.
What a smart play by Josh Anderson, throwing the ball to the referee when he didn't have to, so he could have his teammates set up.
It's an old MOD move, isn't it?
High IQ play right there. Savvy.
You usually pretend to lace up your Velcro shoes.
It's only weird if it doesn't work, Chris Hassel.
Panther foul on number 5, Antonio Davis Jr., his second.
Western by 3, under 11 minutes to play in this game. And Tony says, as a fan, for my heart health, I wish we could win a few comfortably. These close games will end me. I'm guessing Tony is a Western Kentucky fan.
Yeah. it's been cardiac season for Western Kentucky. Every game's just been nail-biting.
6 straight games decided by 5 or fewer, and 3 of those have gone to overtime. Western Kentucky, one of the best fan bases, not just in Conference USA, but in college basketball.
EA Diddle Arena. Oh my gosh, I love calling games there. So fun. Those fans, they're not just great fans, they're not loud fans, they're basketball intelligent fans.
But they're also good and loud.
Indeed, my friend, indeed. Love me some EA Diddle.
Day left
nice
his feet,
kick.
hit the deck hard. Jacob rattles it home, and a whistle because Day is slow to get up.
What a great kick by Day, because he took a shot on that penetration into the paint. Jacob has no conscience, does he? I mean, if he gets in open daylight at all, it's up and gone.
Hard fall.
Doesn't look like too much contact. Looked like he just came down awkwardly.
We got a foul on Day.
Panther foul on number 5.
Hollingsworth is going to end up having more than 20 points in this game, not through making jump shots, but for drawing fouls and getting them at the free throw line. That's the guy you want to control tempo. Put the ball in Hollingsworth's hands, let him draw the foul, and that's your guy that you want at the line. Almost 84% from the free throw line. Hard to shoot when you got the wacky inflatable arm flailing tube men underneath the
Yeah, we haven't talked
there.
about those yet.
Yeah.
We'll get a shot of him after this free throw. You got the mesmerizing wheel. You got Rory back there, the mascot, doing a little dance, and you got the wacky inflatable arm guys.
These guys are doing their best Dee Reynolds, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia dance impression.
I don't get the reference, but I'm sure it was good.
It really was great, and a little inside, Chris, but one day I'll teach you about Sunny.
Hollingsworth up to 16 points now.
Back to that zone D for the Hilltoppers. Again, Jacob lets it go. Man, he's got that smooth stroke. If you're closing out on Jacob, you have to take away the shot. You've got to close out high hands, make him put it on the deck. He's hot.
4 for 6 from deep. Jacob leads FIU with 16 points. Under 10 minutes to play. This game's been tight throughout. Western leads by 1. Justice has the big guy, Osagai, on him. Dishes it to Anderson, who was cutting baseline, thinking dunk, I'm sure. That will take a three. That's not his game. Way off.
I think Anderson goes up and tries to dunk that against any other team. With Osagai in there, you have to second guess everything.
Ooh, Jacob. Good ball movement. Jacob gets it back. Head fake. Oh, he wanted to shoot that, didn't he?
Good second closeout by Savage to deter Jacob from letting that go.
Jacob wants it back. Banks got bumped.
Now this is one of the best athletes in college basketball. Now watch Anderson. It's not the look that we were going for, but Josh Anderson caught it baseline, ripped, and any other team, I think in the country, he's going to try to rip that baseline and dunk it. But against Osagai, best shot blocker in the country, can't do it.
Osagai pick and roll, lost it on the deck. Savage rips it down. Williams was calling for it, finally got it, but it was a little too late. Now Savage gets the roll.
Number 2. Williams took Osagai about 5 or 6 feet away from the rim and allowed for that almost give and go action.
Osagai had his hands on that, but lost what would have been an offensive rebound. Rawls steps into a three.
Now, am I allowed to say that that's a bad shot?
You are.
I really think that's a bad shot. Why would you take that so early in the shot clock when it's contested?
Jacob, another one. Good rebound, Banks. We get a foul on Carson Williams. One more look at that. Savage going high off the glass.
Yeah, but Williams pulled Osagai away from the rim. Allowed for Savage to get that high putback.
For the Hilltoppers. And number 0, Ramon Kerrigan checks in.
Carson Williams has to take a seat because that's foul number 4. So Isaiah Cozart is out there.
Cozart, just a freshman, had a couple big plays in the first half.
Isaiah Banks. We'll get one more free throw as they've hit the 1 in bonus with the 7th team foul. Both of these teams shooting free throws the rest of the way. 1-point game again. Now they get into the offense with Jordan Rawls, as he has done most of the night. Runs the point, picked up the dribble. And Anderson got fouled by Jacob. That'll send Anderson to the line for a 1-and-1.
Silly foul. Just a silly foul by Jacob, and he knew it. And Coach Ballard immediately said, he just turned around and said, I can't believe it.
Take another look at that.
Number 4.
I understand you're going for steals, but if you're going to try to almost lean on Anderson, you have to remember, Anderson's a great athlete, but he's got long arms as well. It's really hard to poke the ball away from him because of his length.
Last meeting against FIU, Anderson had his first career double-double. That was in the loss, and he's closing in on another 8.7 rebounds. 8 minutes to go. Corcoran.
Nice.
Down low. Kerrigan blew it. It's a couple blown lay-ins for FIU tonight. Anderson baseline, got it blocked by Kerrigan, and Jacobs got it. Kerrigan. Well, that is going to be a foul. Now, Anderson was hanging on the rim. I think they're going to get him for a foul because his feet were on the back of Kerrigan inside.
He was trying to prevent from falling on Kerrigan, but that was such a great pass by Jacob. He waited long enough for the defense to shift away from Kerrigan. I guess when you're that much of an athlete, you can just jump up there and hang on the rim to save yourself.
That's the 3rd on Anderson. Williams has 4 fouls. 72-69. Western Kentucky with a 3-point lead, 7:33 to play. And Mike O'Donnell going to give us another MOD minute.
Well, Mike O'Donnell used to be a great shooter back in the day in this state of Florida, playing for UCF. The three-point line was a little bit closer in when you played than it is now. What are some of the traits of the best shooters in college basketball?
Well, first I wanted to talk about you have to get up repetition after repetition. So in high school, at minimum, you need to be making, not taking, but making 200 threes a day. That's what elite shooters do. They're looking to come out and make shots, set goals every single time they step on the court for practice to actually develop that rhythm and consistency. Elite shooters have great footwork, balance, and follow through. Your feet lead all the way up to your fingertips. The better your feet are, the more unbalanced you are. Your fall through stays the exact same way every time. You don't want to change it. Just because you're out of rhythm doesn't mean you should necessarily change your form. And then your fall through at the end must create great backspin at the very end. That backspin allows it to hit the front of the rim, the back of the rim, and really kind of stay heavy on the rim. If you're not going to swish it, the backspin allows the ball to stay heavy on the rim. Great shooters want that extra roll.
Mike O'Donnell began his college career at NC State, Raleigh, North Carolina. That's where Trajan Jacob hails from. And boy, he's been fantastic tonight. The left-hander has the stroke going. He's hit 4 threes. He's got 16 points.
Yeah, been really efficient. He's also got 4 rebounds as well. It's been kind of the do-it-all guy for the Panthers in this game. He's got the quick trigger, the lefty. I'm telling you right now, Western Kentucky is not closing out hard enough on Jacob. They need to find him, especially in semi-transition.
Thanks for joining us here on Facebook Watch. A reminder that if you don't want the comments or the reactions, just swipe right on your mobile device. Or if you're watching on a computer, just go full screen. Those puppies will disappear.
Love puppies.
Damon Kerrigan at the free throw line after the foul on Josh Anderson. Just 46%. There's a puppy on the shirt there. I've got a shirt with my dog's face on it as well. I was wearing it last night.
That's not weird. You got to expect the press here. Again, you know it's coming on the free throw line. This is a lineup. This is a tricky lineup for the Hilltoppers because you don't have Hollingsworth in the game right now. It's Rawls' opportunity to really steady the ship.
Hollingsworth getting a breather on the bench. And Carson Williams with those 4 fouls is seated on the bench. So Isaiah Cozart getting more playing time. Josh Anderson to the rack.
Number 4.
He just needs a small angle, you know, and he's able to contort his body, and he can finish so far away from his defender with that length.
Isaiah Banks, spin move, and the foul.
Well, these are 2 really good athletes, and you can see a lot of players who have great length and athleticism don't know how to use it, but on the other end, Banks with a tough play.
Converts the 3-point play. He has 15 points. And it's a 1-point game again. Usually Western Kentucky controls the free throw advantage. In this game, it's even up. Both teams with 12 free throw makes.
I'd love to see a little action for Savage or Justice here in the half court. Guys we haven't really talked about much in the last few minutes.
Justice for 3. There you go.
3-point basket.
Get your heart out, Tony Romo. Smooth strip. Justice just has that great rhythm, doesn't he? I mean, on the top of the key, catch, grip, and rip. Love it.
There's a grip and rip. But Isaiah Banks short. Osase Osaga the rebound. No, but a foul. That was halfway down. Popped on out. Take a look back at Justice getting that open 3-point look.
Great feet, great rhythm. Follow through always stays the same. Top of the key for shooters, top of the key 3. It's the best place to relocate to.
Free throw rattles out. as Trajan Jacob checks back in for FIU, and Isaiah Banks takes his seat. All rim, no net for Osagai, and the deficit is 4.
I do feel a little bit of a lack of sense of urgency from FIU, specifically in the press. There's not as much energy late in the second half as there was in the first half.
Justice blocked by Osagai, but a foul.
Western Kentucky is doing a great job of drawing fouls against the FIU half-court defense. Don't see much contact there, though, Mr. Hassel.
Now, the foul, I believe they got Day for that on the floor before the shot. But they are over the limit. Justice will get one more as Tavion Hollingsworth comes back in. Carson Williams staying warm on the exercise bike with 4 fouls.
Gotta love a exercise bike routine there by Williams. I used to do that all the time. Never felt comfortable on that thing, but kept me warm.
Now Jared Savage might kick Williams off the exercise bike.
No, you don't kick someone off who's got the towel over the neck. That's an automatic no-no.
Savage still standing over there at the end of the bench.
FIU's going to have to be careful here late in the game of fouling too much. Western Kentucky is shooting 93% from the free throw line in this game. So there's a turnover because free throws act as timeouts. Oh, what a pass by Hollingsworth.
Reverse. I thought Hollingsworth almost lost the ball, but somehow made good of it.
That was like a Jason Kidd type bounce pass in the full court. That was awesome.
We'll take another look at that. But I want to say...
It's almost a carry.
Yeah.
He didn't pass it.
Oh, strong rebound by Jacob.
But, you know, he's been the only guy from an energy standpoint. I don't see another guy for FIU really bringing much effort.
Look at Savage, bottom right of the screen. Looks like he's not putting much pressure on that left leg. And that's why he was taken out of the game during those free throws. And he's sitting behind the bench. Certainly not a good sign in the last regular season game with the Conference USA tournament coming up this week. That'll stay with FIU. 4 on the shot clock. And Western Kentucky's lead is now 8.
Got to find Jacob for a catch and shoot here. That's who I'd be looking for. That's who I'd be paying attention to if I was on defense. Good D by Hollingsworth.
Jacob. And that's a shot clock violation. Western Kentucky trying to pull away here with Carson Williams and Jared Savage on the bench. Williams on the bench with 4 fouls. Savage on the bench with what appears to be some kind of leg injury. And hopefully they're just taking it easy with this game not really factoring in to the conference tournament. Western Kentucky is going to be either a 2 or a 3 seed. Maybe they're just out of an abundance of caution keeping Savage out. Hollingsworth floater off the mark. Osagai is hurt.
Oh yeah, he did come down really awkwardly on that play.
There's Jared Savage. He's got that left shoe off. Ashley Holder has more on that.
Yeah, the trainers were stretching out and doing some exercises on Jared Savage's left ankle. They had him walking around just a little bit. You can see him on the bench right now, putting his sock back on. So he's not getting it wrapped up, but looks like he is ready to go. Chris?
All right, that's certainly good news. Osagai appears to be all right as well. He's going to take these free throws after. I mean, he's a couple of times now in this game. He's kind of had an awkward twist of the legs.
A guy that we have not talked about in the last 5 minutes of this half has been Andrews. He came out firing in the first half. He's got 12 for the game, but too quiet in a game in which if there's a player for FIU to get hot, it's Andrews.
Just 3 for 12 in this game.
I think Rawls has done a pretty good job breaking this press. When you talk about, what are you playing for? I mean, this is an opportunity for Coach Stansbury to learn about what his freshman point guard is made of. I mean, it's exhausting to have to always continue to break the press by yourself over and over and over again, make the right decision. He's had a couple questionable shots, but overall he's done a pretty nice job.
And that allows Hollingsworth a little bit of a breather, more energy to do stuff like that. Bucket and the foul, and he has 18 points.
I don't know if there's a player in Conference USA that's better at drawing fouls than Tavion Hollingsworth. He's got this uncanny ability as a wiry guard to absorb the contact and finish.
Well, it's an 8-point lead for Western Kentucky. They have a free throw coming to try to match their largest lead of the game at 9 with 3:54 to go in this game. Mike O'Donnell, Chris Hassel, Ashley Holder here with you on Facebook Watch. Wednesday, the Conference USA tournament begins. FIU playing Wednesday against Rice. Western Kentucky won't play until Thursday's quarterfinals. CBS Sports Network has the semis and the championship game next weekend. We all filled out a bracket. Now, we don't have all of the seeds finalized, but as it stands right now, this is how the bracket would look, and Mike thinks this is how it's going to play out. Take us through.
Yeah, even though I think FIU is the most dangerous team in the tournament, I don't know if they're going to be able to get past Charlotte. I love that Ron Sanchez team. I think their ability to slow it down. They move on to that semifinal against North Texas. Then if you look at the bottom of the bracket, I like UTSA. It's hard to guard Jackson. I think they advance in that first game, and then Western Kentucky would end up eventually beating them. I love what Eric Conkle is doing in Louisiana Tech. You think he might be one of the best teams in Conference USA. I do think North Texas takes the winner. That's my pick, is North Texas.
So Mike has North Texas beating Louisiana Tech in the championship game, and not only winning the Conference USA regular season, but the championship in the tournament. My bracket looks a little bit different. I like FIU to not only beat Rice, but beat Charlotte. I can't help but pick them against Charlotte because just a week ago I was in Charlotte when FIU dismantled Charlotte, beat them by 15. Got Western Kentucky and Louisiana Tech advancing to the semis. North Texas beating FIU. Western Kentucky beating Louisiana Tech. And Western winning it all with just 6 players. Wow. Ashley?
Hey guys, I'm just enjoying myself right now. I'm in the cabanas. I've got the sand.
That's not fair.
I forgot
That's
that I'm even
fair.
at work. But let me get into my picks right now. What's the graphic actually comes up? So my picks were the exact same as Mike. So there's nothing actually any different. So I have North Texas and Charlotte meeting again in the semifinals. And I'm going to pick North Texas over Charlotte because they had that devastating loss just last week in Charlotte. So I think they get them back. And I like North Texas to win it all, beating Louisiana Tech. Yeah. I love this McCaslin team. They started off rough in the beginning, and they are literally finishing red hot.
Good picks by Ashley. You know, the only difference right there, you want to know why we have the same bracket is, you know, we both were college hoopers, Chris. You know, we understand the game, man.
I'll take that as a slap in the face.
Nah, it's more like a back of the neck.
Well, I feel like I pick Western Kentucky every year to win the Conference USA tournament. Every year they get to the championship game, it seems, and lose. The last 2 seasons they've lost to the championship game.
Western Kentucky has the most talented starting lineup in Conference USA. I just don't know if they have the depth to win 3 games in a row. That's with the way that this team is set up. They're certainly talented enough to do it, but if they got to be healthy, they got to stay out of foul trouble.
Whistle because Osagai was a little banged up again. A lot of pain. He's had a couple of awkward falls.
Staying in the game.
Twists of the legs, but yeah, he's fighting it. Got a few players fighting it tonight.
And he is grabbing his kneecap, his right knee.
Western Kentucky taking it down to 3 minutes. The lead is 7. Rawls bricks it, and Hollingsworth uses the head fake as Osagai flies by.
He's just so savvy.
We get a timeout by Rick Stansbury. 2:54 to go. So who do you think will win the Conference USA tournament? North Texas is the 1 seed. Western likely going to be the 2 seed with Louisiana Tech the 3 seed. Or are you going with somebody else? Do you think a team like FIU or Charlotte could make a run? I'll tell you that there's some teams at the bottom of Conference USA who are going to be coming into the tournament hot.
Yeah.
Rice is one of those teams. Now, FIU has to play Rice in the first game, the 5-12 game. Rice comes in having won 6 of 9. UTEP, a team that was picked top 4 in the conference, had a very disappointing season. They got in that group 3 and able to get some momentum. They've won 4 straight games, so they're going to believe that they can make a bit of a run. I think you could see several upsets in this Conference USA tournament next week.
But also you got to think neutral court type scenario. UTSA, if Jackson gets hot, I mean, he can absolutely carry a team to the semifinals if he gets hot. There isn't a better scorer in Conference USA. He's one of the top scorers in college basketball. You're right about that Rice team, though. Really dangerous. Might be the hardest team to figure out right now late in the season for Conference USA.
Well, and this FIU team played Rice earlier this season in Houston and lost. It was one of their worst games, and Rice had a lot to do with that. Rice has wins over this 9-game stretch where they're 6-3. They've beaten North Texas. They've beaten Charlotte. They've won at UAB. Obviously, they won earlier this season against Florida International. That is going to be a tough 5-12 game to start for FIU.
I agree.
See Osaga trying to work that kneecap out a little bit. 7-point deficit for the Panthers, revisiting Mike O'Donnell's keys to the game.
Well, I thought Western Kentucky did a much better job of not settling for early shots in the second half, and that's one of the reasons why they're up right now. And FIU's second half havoc defense has not been good. There hasn't been enough energy. I mean, they haven't been able to speed up Hollingsworth. They haven't been able to speed up the freshman Jordan Rawls. And I just think their lack of energy in the second half is proving to be costly.
The shooting just hasn't been there in the second half either. FIU was 50% from the floor in the first half, but just 7 of 25 in the second half as Williams travels.
They were forcing turnovers in the first half and allowed them to get into a rhythm. That's the struggle with this team. If they're not creating turnovers with their defense, with their havoc press, where does the offense come from?
Carson Williams, 16 points. 6 players for Western Kentucky in double figures. Bangs!
There's a deposit. Wow.
Five-point game, 2.5 to go. And 91% of you believe Western Kentucky is going to win the Conference USA tournament. Not a surprise. I'm guessing 91% of you are watching from the Western Kentucky area. Carson Williams, the rebound and the putback.
Another no box out possession for FIU. More second chance opportunities for Western Kentucky in the second half.
Day gets fouled with 1:54 to go. Let's look back at that Isaiah Banks drive and smush.
Man, Isaiah Banks, all I make is deposits. That was serious elevation.
17 points on 6 of 9 shooting for Isaiah Banks. Antonio Day, the leading assist man in Conference USA, at the free throw line. Just 3 points in this game. Does have 4 assists, but definitely not feeling right with that bone bruise in his knee.
Yeah, you said it. You wonder if just mentally he was favoring having to just kind of get through this game because of the amount of knee pain he's going through.
Makes both to cut it back to 5, and here comes the full court pressure again.
Nice second cut by Hollingsworth. He faked going down the court, came back to the ball.
Now fades away and gets the roll. And you were right, Mike, he's over 20 points. 21 on 8 of 12 shooting. halfway down and out. And Justice, the big rebound, 90 seconds to go. And Western Kentucky, this is a ton of breathing room if you follow this team this year. They're never up 7 with 1:20 to go.
And the tough thing to do to come back against Western Kentucky when you have to start fouling under a minute. This is a very good free throw shooting team.
15 for 16 tonight, but it's about 79% of the season as Hollingsworth gets it blocked, and that's a shot clock violation. 1:01 to go. FIU gets it back down 7.
Best case scenario for FIU, you don't foul, you get a shot clock violation. You're able to set up an offense. This acts as like a semi-timeout. Good block.
Roll the ball near midcourt.
1 minute.
Got to find Jacob. Got to find Jacob. And I love it. Smart. Western Kentucky goes zone.
There's Jacob. 4 threes. Has to take it inside. Double clutch. I don't know how he got that to go. Now you got to think about fouling. You got to foul down 5.
Where's the trap? Complete breakdown defensively for FIU. They were supposed to be in a full court trap. And it's time. You got to start thinking foul. Too late.
Why? Yeah, they waited 14 seconds to foul.
It was a total mental breakdown by Day and Andrews. They both thought they were supposed to sprint back beyond half court, and they missed an opportunity to trap and press up. Costly mistake.
And now Jordan Rawls to the free throw line, 72%.
Rawls, 2 shots.
He's the one who kind of jump-started things for Western Kentucky. Scored 9 quick points, hit his first 2 threes. And now Western Kentucky at the free throw line trying to close this thing out, which is something they weren't able to do last game against North Texas. And a timeout call by Rick Stansbury with 35.1 to play and a 7-point lead as Western Kentucky looks to wrap up the 2 seed in the Conference USA tournament and finish the regular season 13-5 in conference play, and this would be their 20th win overall. It would be their 46th 20-win season. Let me list the schools that have a longer streak than that, because there aren't many.
There are not.
The only teams with more than 46 20-win seasons: Kentucky, Kansas, North Carolina, Duke, and Louisville. That's
Not a
it.
bad list. Not a bad list. That is the winning culture in Western Kentucky, one of the all-time winningest basketball programs. It's pretty impressive this season when you thought that, you know, you got an potential NBA draft pick that goes out for the season early in the year. It's a great coaching job by Coach Stansbury.
Panthers foul number 50.
Definitely.
I think it's, you know, you get players like
Personal foul.
Anderson and Williams who have really stepped up and tried to fill that void as best as they could with Charles Bassey out for the year. I think they've done a pretty commendable job. Specifically, Carson Williams in the post has just been a force.
Williams with 18 points and 10 rebounds tonight. Jordan Rawls hitting some big free throws down the stretch. There's Charles Bassey. Really look forward to perhaps seeing him back on the floor for Western Kentucky next season. Osagai short on that. Williams the rebound, and that should do it. Get into the front court and get on back to Bowling Green, Kentucky. Rick Stansbury calls a timeout because he wants to get
Substitution timeout.
one of his favorites onto the court. You see that, young man? Evan Stack, wearing number 20, 6'1" senior from Louisville. Right, look, we're gonna go shirts and skins the rest of the way. Is that all right, guys?
Now, he can't wear a long sleeve shirt underneath his jersey. Can we please get Evan a name on the back of his jersey?
Oh,
Can
man.
we please do that? Nothing spells walk-on more than when you get to check into the game and the name isn't on the back of your jersey. It's pretty cool, though. Good on him, man.
Well, we were there. All of us were there, the same crew in Bowling Green a couple of weeks ago when Evan Stack, after a practice, was told, "We're dressing you up tonight. We've got a jersey for you. Doesn't have a name on the back of it, but we've got a jersey
one for you. We need you."
And here he is. Let's see if is he going to hoist one? Come on, hoist one. I don't think he will. Got it poked away. Now he's going to have something in the stat sheet as Day slams it with .8 to go. All right, Stack's going to inbound it now.
Well, he's in the stat sheet with a turnover.
And now we got a whistle because the Western Kentucky bench is standing.
And Coach Ballard is on the other side of the...
And Coach Ballard is he going to take a seat on the Western Kentucky bench?
He's already shaking hands.
Well, this was back on February the 22nd. Evan Stack getting that jersey. And they're just going to go ahead and say this one's over. 91-85, Western Kentucky, the victory. Very high scoring game. You see the newfangled coronavirus elbow. We certainly wish everyone the best of health as things continue to change over the course of the next few weeks. Hopefully we'll get fans in the stands at the NCAA tournament and everything will be okay, but certainly taking precautions like we've never seen before. 91-85, Western Kentucky, the victory. Ashley Holder is going to be with Rick Stansbury in just a moment. And Ashley is with the victorious head coach right now.
Ready, Coach? Ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so Coach, you bounced back to the winner's circle with a big road win. How'd you get it done tonight?
Well, those guys got it done. You know, there's not a lot of teams could get back up off the mat what we went through. You know, there was a championship at line at stake in 5 seconds, and we didn't finish it off. Most teams would come down here with not much to play for, except with us. We're still playing for second place. We're playing for 20 wins. And as long as they keep score, you play to win. A lot of teams couldn't do that, but it tells you the character and make up the guys we have.
How do you keep this momentum going with the conference tournament now in the forefront?
Well, our momentum's been the same all year long. We haven't had no ups and downs. I don't mean we haven't won every game. One thing, I've never walked off the court all season long feeling our team didn't play with toughness and effort and heart, and that's the key.
How nice was it to get Evan Stack and get a couple of minutes to, to end out his college career?
Yeah, we got teaching the rules. Got to know what kind of T-shirt to have on.
All right, thanks, Coach, and congratulations.
Oh, boy. Well, Western Kentucky got everything it wanted. Got a win, got Evan Stack on the court at the end of the game, and now they'll be heading to the conference tournament with the 2 seed. Tavion Hollingsworth, 21 points to lead all scorers tonight with Ashley.
All right, Tavion, you guys only play 5 to 6 players, and all 6 players were in double digits tonight. Talk about the team effort tonight.
That's the way to go. We was moving the ball. We was getting out in transition. It was just good. It was a good game for everybody, and that's a good way to end the regular season.
There is no load management for you guys because like I said, only 5 or 6 of you guys play. So when you go into the Conference USA tournament, do you find that's a disadvantage or advantage for you guys because you've been playing like that the entire year?
I mean, I feel like other teams is going to try to do the exact same thing in the tournament, and we've been doing it. So, we can handle that beat up. We can handle being fatigued, so we'll be smooth.
All right, thanks, Tavion, and congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Hollingsworth, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. The reigning National Player of the Week is going to be one of the players to watch in the Conference USA tournament. He's got something to prove as well. He's going to be carrying that chip on his shoulder after missing the 2 late free throws in the loss to North Texas last week. That may have cost them a regular season championship. But Western Kentucky wins it 91-85. They're going to be the 2 seed, Louisiana Tech the 3 seed. Obviously, we know North Texas the 1 seed going into the Conference USA tournament. FIU has Rice on Wednesday to get things going in the 5-12 game.
I'd say one thing for FIU, they need to find ways to get Andrews more buckets. And I think Andrews and Jacob need to step up and make more shots in the conference tournament. they can't come with that slow second half effort and expect to advance in a conference tournament. They need to fix that second half effort leading into conference tourney play.
We filled out our brackets. I have Western Kentucky winning the Conference USA tournament. 91% of our viewers have Western Kentucky winning the conference tournament.
I'm just going against the grain. Okay. Just going against the grain. I have nothing against Western Kentucky. I told they are the most talented starting lineup in Conference USA. It's just going to be, can they stay out of foul trouble? Can they be healthy?
Well, they've been able to do it for most of this season with 6 players. They do it again tonight by shooting 54% from the floor. They make 18 of their 20 free throws, and they beat FIU 91-85. That will do it from Miami. And for the Conference USA regular season, we'll see you at the Conference USA tournament. CBS Sports Network has the semis and the championship game. Might we see these 2 teams there? For Mike O'Donnell, Ashley Holder, and our entire CBS Sports Network crew, I'm Chris Hassel. So long, everybody.